Hey there everyone, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to install a hard drive onto your PS2. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start up the PS2. Take note of how long the boot time is, because once you install a hard drive, the boot time gets much longer. We're going to go ahead and go into the browser. See, we're going to do this. We're going to go to the version menu, and it'll show 5001 is my console number. Browser 140, CD player 2, PlayStation driver 1.1, and DVD player 3.0U. And my browser has a PlayStation 2 memory card and a PlayStation memory card. So, on that note, here's the part you're actually here for. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and unplug everything from your PS2. And then on the back side of the PS2, as long as you haven't messed with it before, you're going to see an expansion bay cover here on the back of the PS2. I have a hard drive and whatever, so I ended up losing this a long time ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago. So anyway, you're going to have to remove this cover. I think it just pops off with like a screwdriver or your fingernail or something. But you're going to see this big old open bay is exposed. You can actually see out the front of the PS2. Hello. So what you're going to need for this is obviously an old school PS2. Either the 10,000s or the 30,000s or the 50,000s, and I think that's all. I think the 70,000s became the PS2 Slims. But anyway, you're going to need your PS2, you're going to need a Ethernet adapter. These you can get online. They don't sell these anymore in the store because they don't sell Phat PS2s anymore. You're also going to need a compatible hard drive. I actually have a Sony brand hard drive, so I have official stuff, and this actually says HDD on it, so this is designed for the PS2. I ended up getting this a long time ago, so I've had this for quite a while. And you're going to need either a screwdriver or a coin. I have a penny here. The reason why you use a coin is because this uses these fancy screws in the back, and the manual actually says don't use a screwdriver, use a screw. Use a coin. So I'm just gonna use a coin for continuity's sakes. But anyways, we'll go ahead and start off. What you're gonna have to do is you're going to take your compatible hard drive, look online and see if you can find compatible hard drives, see what kind of hard drives you exactly need, or just get the Sony PS2 brand, which is what I have. Here on the back you're going to see this power port and this port right here, and on the back of your Ethernet adapter you're going to see this small power port, and you're going to see this. You're going to see this port right here, which is what actually connects to the PS2 and transfers data from the hard drive to the PS2, because the hard drive is never actually connected to the PS2 in any way other than by the Ethernet adapter. That's why you have to have one. This expansion bay slot is purely just something to house the hard drive. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your hard drive, you're going to take your Ethernet adapter, flip them both over or however you want to hold them, and line up those ports properly. Just push them on. Please be careful. As you can see here, this is actually supposed to be covered in plastic, but when I bought this used a long time ago, some person actually broke this off because they were doing it wrong. So just be wary of that. And now that we have everything connected, as you can see I'm holding the hard drive, this is up, hold this, the hard drive's up. So the hard drive is now attached to the Ethernet adapter, and now we're going to take the PS2 and slide the hard drive into the Ethernet adapter, like so. It might get caught or snag or whatever, just move it so that it doesn't until you can finally push it in the entire way and push it on. It might snap or something, and basically just push it on. There, now you see that it's attached to the PS2, it's flat against the PS2, blah blah blah. Now we're going to go ahead and screw on the hard drive next. I'm going to take my coin, like Sony recommends I do, screw on the Ethernet adapter. This Ethernet adapter screws onto the PS2, but basically what you've done is put the hard drive in between the PS2 and these screws here on the Ethernet adapter. So you're basically just putting like a giant hard drive washer. But anyway, that probably wasn't the best way to explain it. Moving on though, screw this crap on. There we go. And nice and tight. Okay. So here on the back now we have your Ethernet attached to the hard drive, which is inside the PS2 expansion bay, which you could kind of see here in the front somehow if you had the right lighting. But yeah, essentially we're done. That's all you really have to do. Now here's the next thing. I never had to do this because when I bought this hard drive, it was pre-formatted for this. When I bought this, I paid $40 for the hard drive back in like 2004, 2005. Everything was already pre-formatted. If you get a hard drive and you have to format it to the PS2, you're going to have to use a utility disk for PS2. I have never seen one of those in person because I don't know anyone who actually has a hard drive, but I'm pretty sure you can get those online. And basically what that disk does is it allows you to format the hard drive so it'll work with the PS2. Since mine's already done, I'm just going to go ahead and hook the PS2 back up to the TV. Xbox power plug, because they're all the same. And we're going to use beautiful, beautiful component cables. Oh my. That was terrible. Use a proper tripod. And anyway, now we have the PS2 all hooked up to the TV. We're going to plug everything back into it. My controller. And memory cards. PlayStation brands, just cuz. And power on the PS2. And take note of the boot time. Stupid PS2. Mine's a little messed up on the power switch. Take note of the boot time of the PS2. It's going to be much longer than before. Up to 10 or 15 seconds longer than it would be without a hard drive. And we're waiting, and we're waiting. Almost there. There. Now you can see just how much longer that was, because before it was practically instant. So we're going to go ahead and look here at this settings menu, and you can see that, well, maybe, some of your drivers change. I'm not positive if some of these change, but on my old model PS2, which was a 30,001, I did have different settings, and it also displays a MAC address for the hard drive. Also, you get new options here in the system config. Before you got clock, you got your size, you got digital out, you got, I use component rather than RGB. I have remote control function because I have a sensor on the front. No, I don't. That's the later model PS2s. Yeah, that's remote control functions. Language, yes, the hard drive adds mouse option and keyboard option. Probably because the hard drive was one of the main things the hard drive was used for is installing Linux onto your PS2, using Linux on a PS2. And now here in the menu we now have a hard disk drive, HDD. So now we can go ahead and select that, and you'll see that I have all of these custom folders made that hold things. This one's Tony Hawk games, this one's unused, which is basically every PS2 game I own. PlayStation, Internet, my friend, RPG Maker, GTA, SOCOM games, another friend of mine, Wipeout games, Gran Turismo games, my girlfriend's games. And here it shows that I have 35 gigs free. And down here I also have some other data. This is SOCOM Combined Assault maps, SOCOM 3 US Navy maps, SOCOM 2 maps, blah 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 blah. And I'm just going to show you guys that you can go ahead and, if you go press triangle, you can go to create, whoa, not what I wanted, go up here to the hard drive in the top corner. You can create a new folder, you name it, blah 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 blah. And I'm just going to show you, hey, this is what the menu looks like, and here's a bunch of saved games of mine. And now you can go through and edit your different settings. So I can copy this PlayStation data. Once it's done loading, I can copy this data. See, I now have a move option and a rename option rather than just the copy delete info. You can't really do anything with these, but they do give you the option. Moving just moves it from one folder of the hard drive to the other. And now I can copy this data to the hard drive. And it actually won't let me copy this because it's system data. But yeah, it is compatible with PS2 and PlayStation memory card data, and that's pretty much all you guys got to do. So, end of the video, guys. If you have any more questions, please ask. Pieces.